Alright, hi folks. This demo is on Revit schedules. This is Revitdemo11. Let's see, get the Revit up here. So your Revit model should look something like this. We've got quite a few windows in here, not too many doors, whole ton of furniture and casework. What I want to do on this, I think we copied up the furniture and the casework, but we didn't copy up the walls. So let's do this. Let's take this wall. The reason I want to do this is I've got some doors in here I want to swap out. I'm just going to do that and maybe throw in another door. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. How about door double sliding? Something like that. Maybe, I don't know, door double sliding. Yeah, that's probably fine. And maybe like right there. Okay. So just want to throw another door in this wall right here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I want to take that wall and I'm going to copy it to the other levels, very much like we did with the floors and like we did with the archtop windows in Revitdemo11. So we're going to copy it to the clipboard, and we're going to paste, align into selected levels, and we're going to go 2 through 7. Just want to throw a few more doors in here. That's all I'm doing this for. So now if I look at the model, you'll see that I've got, a few more doors and stuff in here. All right. Just for the purposes of this scheduling. All right. When you do schedules, you're basically kind of sucking data out of the model. We want to know how many windows we have and what they are, how many doors we have and what they are, how many upper corner cabinets. And so we can pull that data from the Revit model through a process called scheduling. And here's the way we're going to do it. Each piece, each component, each family in Revit has what are called parameters. It's basically a data holder. So like for example here I've got level and I've got level 1. Sill height 0. Swing angle 90. So this is the parameter over off on the left, and then what's in it is on the right. Now, not everything has been filled in for this door. For example, you'll notice that there's no frame material, there's no finish, there's no image, there's no comments. It's a garbage in, garbage out kind of mentality there. So until we put it in, it's not there. Now, additionally, there's more parameters. If you go to the Edit Type button here, we have even more parameters on the second tab. Things like, what the door is made out of, and if there's any glass in it, what that material is going to be. All of the sizes are in this second box right here. And so on. Well, things like the website address and type comments and model and manufacturer and keynote. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Some of it's there and some of it's not. Again, goes to the garbage in, garbage out mentality. All right. So I'm going to cancel on that. All right, so let's do a little bit of this here. We're going to go ahead and pull a door schedule. So I am on page 102. You're going to want to be on page 102 because all of the stuff I'm going to do here is kind of step-steppy here. All right, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and make a door schedule. It doesn't matter what view you're in, by the way. It can be any view. You're going to go to View, Schedule, and Schedule Quantities. And there's a whole bunch of things we can schedule in Revit. You can see, some of the stuff you're not going to know what it is, like what's an analytical surface. Some of that stuff I don't even know. And then there's some stuff that you're going to recognize, things like ceilings, which we've done, casework, which we've done. We haven't done columns yet. And you get the idea. A whole bunch of stuff in here, ductwork and electrical fixtures and entourage, and I remember the cars. Fire alarms. It goes on and on and on. A whole bunch of stuff, all kind of data you can kind of suck out of the model. For the purposes of what we're doing, we're going to do a door schedule. And hit OK. Now, the stuff on the left over here are those parameters that I was telling you about. We have a whole bunch of them that we can choose from. In our schedule, we're not going to choose all of these. We don't need all of them. We're just going to choose specific ones. And that's what I've got on page 102, the ones we're going to do, starting with family. Now, you can do with these one at a time and go, to the arrow here and say, oh, and okay, that's one of the choices. So the stuff on the left are the choices, and the stuff on the right is what we're going to do. So if you want something, you pull it from the left and you kind of pull it over to the right using these two buttons over here. If you make a mistake, you can shoot it back the other way. All right. Now, we can do this one at a time, but we're not going to. We're going to hold the control key down, and we're just going to go ahead and bop in there and knock these out. So finish, frame material, head height, height, level mark thickness, level. Some of these words are not going to mean anything to you, but they will eventually. Mark, thickness, type comments, width. Now, it's really important not to hit OK here because you don't have anything over here on that right palette. You need to hit the arrow to pull them over. So these are the ones that I'm looking for. And then you hit OK. And we have this, what's called the door schedule. And it's going to tell us things like, what kind of door it is, and the finish, if we have the data in there, the head height, that's the top of the door, the height, the level, the mark, the thickness, and so on. There's different parameters that we're picking up. Again, some of them have data, like the type, and some of them don't. Just depends on what we have. All right, so let's go back to level 1. Now notice there's nothing for finish and frame material in here. But go back to level 1. Let's go ahead and look at that first door we put in, the very number 1 door there, door number 1. If I pick on the door, like I said, there are parameters. In this particular door, we're going to go ahead and give it a frame material. We're going to call that painted pine. Okay, just because. All right, pine is a type of wood. We're going to paint it. Finish, and we're going to call this oak stain. So we're giving it, information. Now, if I go to the schedule, you'll notice that that data is now in there because we put it in there. So this schedule is reporting that. Back to level 1. Now we're going to pick the door again, so you can see the painted pine and the oak stain in there. Now on that second palette, we are going to add type comments. We're going to put a low VOC. We'll talk about VOCs later, but right now it's a low VOC rated. All right. So again, just data that's going in there. Now this one's going to be a little different. Watch what happens when I hit OK, and then I go back to my schedule. And you'll notice that a whole bunch of them have been populated. The reason that is because every single door exterior, single entry, half arch glass, wood clad, 36 by 96 door was populated. So let's talk about that for a second here. So the way these parameters go, and there are 2 types. Let me hit the door here. One of them are what's called an instance parameter. We'll only fix that one door. This door, door number 1, right on the first floor, that door. If I go to that exact same door on level 2, remember how we copied it up? And I pick on that door, you'll notice that there's no data in there because that instance of that door, we didn't put the data in. So if I put frame material, red, red paint. And the finish was lacquer. Then that instance of that door is going to get that data. If I go to level 3, that door is not going to have either one of those because that instance of that door we didn't give it any information yet. Now if I go back into the schedule, you'll see that that door number 2, where are you, Mark? That's like door number 8, right? Because that was above it. Door number 8, got the lacquer and the red paint. Now, back we go again, make it even more complicated here. If I go to the door and I hit edit type, everything in here on the second panel goes to the type. It goes to every single door exterior, single entry, half arch wood class, wood clad, 36 by 96. Now if it changes size, then that goes away. It's only that exact size type of door. And we had like 7 or 8 of them, right? Because we copied them up. So each one of those got that information. Now it's bi-directional as well. So I could go into the schedule, for example, and I could go, let's say these double sliding doors have a type comment of, I don't know, how about, what can we give those double sliding doors? Leaded glass. Type of glass, right? Let's just say, right? It's got a certain type of glass. It's kind of the, it's got little crisscrosses in it. Now, when I do that, it's going to say, hey, if you're going to do that, all the double sliding door 68 by 80s are going to get that. It's a type comment. And you'll see that we have a bunch of those in here that are exactly that, and they all got it. So to review, when you hit the door, the first palette are instance parameters. Only affect that one door. If you go to edit type, everything you put in here affects all of the doors of that type. And we'll talk about how we want to control that data going in, and sometimes we'll even do custom stuff in there, and then we have to decide which palette it belongs on. Okay. Let's see, I'm rolling along page 102. 102, I've already passed that. Talked about instance parameters on page 103. Put the data in, 104. Talked about type parameters on the bottom of page 104. All right, I'm on the top of page 105 now, maybe in the middle of page 105. Once we get to the schedule, sometimes these words don't really mean much to the average person. Like when you see the word family, you think, dog, cat, aunt, uncle, parents, siblings, whatever. In Revit, families, as you know, or we load families, and they're kind of our components, if you will. It's just Revit's word. Unfortunately, in the real world, the non-Revit world, they don't know that word. So we're going to give them a better word. We're going to call this, what are these things? Well, they're doors, and this is the style of the door, so we'll call it something like door style. Finish is fine, that makes sense. Frame material is fine, that makes sense. Maybe we abbreviate frame material. Maybe we want to make that column not quite so long. Head height is fine, height is fine. Level, that's more of a Revit word as well. Maybe something like floor number, something like that. Mark is definitely a Revit word. Mark, dude's name, or maybe something you get at Costco. Member's mark. So maybe the door number, because that's what that is. Door number. So people will understand that more than Mark when they look at your schedule. Maybe we do an acronym for thickness, THK. Type, now that's kind of a weird word too. That's more of a Revit word as well. Remember when we did the type parameters and stuff? That's, in this case, it's more like a size, isn't it? So maybe something like door size. Type comments, again, that's also a Revit word. We're going to call that maybe notes. All kinds of weird stuff goes in that notes area, whatever they need to know about it. That's not, in it. And then we have width. Okay. So we're just kind of rolling right along, and when we put this in, we put it in alphabetical order. D, and then F, and then FR, and then H, and so on. That may not be the order in which we want it. Also, if you put a parameter in that maybe you didn't want, or you want to add them, here's how you're going to do that. I am on. Where am I? I am on. Trying to see where it is in my book here. Let's see. I don't have any idea where I am there. I'm going to say page 105. I want to add a couple of parameters, and they're not here. I didn't put them in. Oh no, no big deal. I'm going to go into the fields again. So I'm in the schedule. I'm going to go to Fields Edit. And these, remember this is what we had before. So I'm going to do a couple more parameters. I'm going to do heat transfer coefficient, which is called a U value. Push that over. And I'm also going to do solar heat gain coefficient, and push that over. And when I hit OK, you'll see that my schedule has more data. Some of this stuff has stuff in it. These numbers are completely crap. But and then solar heat gain, there's really nothing. This says 0, but that's not really accurate. So that's all stuff we'd have to change. All right, but we've got two more parameters. We'll call this heat transfer coefficient. We'll call this U value. And on the solar heat gain coefficient, you'll learn this stuff in green building design when we get there. Solar heat gain coefficient. Makes the schedule a little easier to look at. All right, Now regarding order, I am on page 106 at the top. I have a certain order that I would like those in. Sorry, I'm lying. I'm on page, no, that's right. So you can move the fields up and down. I'm on page 106 at the top. So let's see, we're going to go back into Fields Edit. So this is the order that they're showing. So if you don't want it in that order, let's say you want the door number first, which is the mark, then you're just going to hit this little up button and move it up. Now if I hit OK, you'll notice now that the door number goes to the beginning of the line there. So I would like you to, again, using that page there, do them in order. So the next one's going to be Family, and that's going to be good. Next one's going to be Type, Level, Thickness. So let's see, Type, and then we have Level, and then we have Thickness. Now if you go too far, obviously, then you just go back the other way. So if I went too far, go back. Let's see, what else do we have here? Height, width, head height. So you get the basic idea here. We're just moving things around, putting them in order. Height, head height, and thickness. I did thickness already. Oh, finish. Finish is good. Frame material is good. Type comments are good. Width, I messed that one up, so I'm just going to move that up. And width would be below height. So it looks like that's pretty good there. And then type comments, heat transfer, and solar heat gain. Hit OK, and you'll see now that they are in a different order. Okay. So this is where I left off. I'm on, again, Revitdemo11. This is just what we did on Wednesday. So I'm going to stop the video now, and then I'm going to continue this with Windows schedule. This will be the next demo. Windows schedule will be the next demo. All right. So this, again, this is Wednesday's, Wednesday's demonstration.